So today we are doing a
Get to know us vlog.
we just thought we would zone in on our values today, and then it's up on our page. It's sort of there forever. Anybody that's coming to our page can like watch it, what we're all about. When we first started YouTube, we did a very long video of why we were doing YouTube, and I feel a little bit like it's changed so dramatically. We've changed, so much has happened this year.
Yeah, this year's been a very full-on year, hasn't it? So
yeah
far.
Yeah, I think
And
even
it's only February.
marriage is going in a different direction to what it was at the beginning of the year. Like, everything's changing. So yeah so let's get into it. So do you want to start?
Yeah. So the first one we've put down is family first. So we'll always put Rowan and Isla first before anything.
Yeah. Which everyone does. Everyone puts their children sort of first, but I think we're a bit more. I think we are too protective of our children. We are a bit more protective because we struggled so much to get them and to keep them alive, and they're both premiers, and so like any child's extremely precious. But I think also then when we lost our middle child, they become just like doubly more precious. So what their wishes and their will sort of comes first if they wanted to. And what I mean by that is not just letting them do what they want, but if they've got an aspiration in life, we're going to do our best as parents throughout their life to help them reach their potential and do whatever we can to facilitate that for them. And give them the best life possible. That's basically and also we want to take Nanny with us and Jason's mum, and basically the people that want to be around us we're going to take with us, and the people that don't want to be around us aren't going to be around us anymore. We want to be positive, good vibes. 2023 is, I think, going to be the year for a lot of people of good vibes.
Yeah, especially after the last 3 years with
COVID and everything. Yeah. So accessibility.
So we will always fight.
No, just say accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yeah, so say it.
Accessibility. So we'll do everything in our power to make things as accessible as we can for Isla.
And others.
We'll try experiences. At the end of the day, if they don't work, we'll say that. If they do work, we'll give praise where it's due. But we're quite happy to try out different things like Universal last year and see how it goes on the accessibility front.
Yeah, we're still exploring Universal and blah 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 blah. We're still exploring Universal and the accessibility there, as I feel like they've had a bad rap.
Yeah.
And we had a really good trip, so we're gonna in May we'll see if we have a really good trip again, or if we see the other side of it and feel like we never want to go back again. So we'll see. But I feel like with their new park opening, they're going to be improving their accessibility. So let's move on from theme parks. We are very we're pro-choice. We're sort of pro whatever gender you want to be.
Yeah.
Non-binary. We don't care. At the end of the day, everyone is a human being. Everyone is a person. Everyone deserves kindness. We're fully into our pride, aren't we? Isla, just is obsessed with pride. Like, I don't think she understands in her mind why, like, you would be a pride advocate. Like, we would go to pride as to support pride because we're not LGBTQ and queer, is it now?
Just do LGBT,
all of the things. But yeah, we kind of just stand up for people's right to. I mean, it's not a right. I was going to say a right to be whatever coloured skin you are, but actually, you have the right to be whatever coloured skin you are now, because you can. If you can choose your gender, you can. I think you're going to just be able to choose and say whatever you feel like you are soon. I feel like kindness. Yeah. And
anti-discriminatory
is the the biggest one about us, really. It's the biggest one about us. We just want to be love for all.
Yeah.
Love for all, love everybody, and not have, you know, I mean, I think with Isla, she gets a lot of discrimination, so maybe she does understand more, but, you know, people give her horrible looks, and people say, oh, she should be walking. I want to get that child out of that wheelchair and get her walking. If I could get her to walk, I'd get her to walk. I wouldn't put her in a wheelchair.
She'd be off.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't put her in a wheelchair deliberately, push her around in a buggy. Like, honestly, we take Rowan out in his buggy, but if he wants, as soon as we're in a shop, he's out of the buggy, isn't he? We just put him in for safety when we're by a road or things like that now. Like, he's 20 months and he's walking more and more and more, and I wouldn't want to take that away from him.
No.
You know, like, because Isla's never had that, and Isla loves the fact that he can just climb all over her. She thinks it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, I feel like our next one was inclusivity, but I feel like we've done both of those together. Like, I feel like we've tried to say, you know, like, our core values of that.
The only additional thing I'd say about inclusivity is we will fight discrimination if we see it. If someone is staring at Isla or is making derogatory comments towards Isla and we see it, then we will say something. And the same if I see it against a stranger, I'll say something. Because nobody deserves to be discriminated against.
No. And I feel like this year with the situation on TikTok as well recently, like it's been, I feel like I've been made even more aware of discrimination and disability discrimination this year.
Some of the views that some people hold.
Yeah, and I feel like there's an even greater need to be screaming from the rooftops about pride and disability pride and accessibility. You know, there's so many places that we can't go to because there's not toilet facilities for Isla.
But I think the other
that's mad to me that I can't
point...
go to my local town centre and have a disabled changing space.
Yeah. And I think the other point regarding both of the last two, inclusivity and accessibility, especially with disability, is we're the first generation have said our children are still children. They still deserve to be out in the community. They still deserve to be seen. We don't attempt to hide our disabled children, unlike they did in the past. And I think the older generation especially, that's where a lot of the issues come from.
Yeah.
Because they didn't grow up seeing disability. Disability was hidden away. And we're the first generation that says, no, our child is still a child. Our child will be out in the community. Our child will be seen. We're not going to hide our children away.
And I feel like we are doing... That's a big one of why we're doing YouTube, isn't it? It's a big one why we're doing YouTube to, you know, sort of share those sort of our experiences. Like, I feel like I haven't put as much on as I could, and I've been going in one direction with the channel, and actually I'm going in a completely different direction now. Like, I shared my handbags last night and I just felt like, is that me showing off? Is that me really like going more down like the shopping route channel? But then I thought, do you know what, no, I have a hard life with Isla. She's fully disabled. We have a toddler. You know, those two mixed is quite challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging.
We have very little support, and I don't spend loads of money on anything other than every 6 months I might have a nice handbag. And it took me, you know, what, 3 years to save up for my Louis Vuitton, and now I'm starting to save for a Dior bag that I like. And I just feel like that's me being humble, actually, me sharing that and saying, it's not me saying like, and I've said in that video, you know, it's not me saying, look what I've got. It's actually me saying, you know, I've worked hard for these items. I'm going to show off them. Most of them I've bought at outlets apart from the Louis Vuitton. So trying to engage on our channel about the things that matter to us is really important to me. And my little handbags section, if you're here for that, you know, every now and then I'll just share my new handbags, showing Isla's collections off. She loves to collect things. Again, I think she feels like she can't really do much with toys, so she can use a handbag so she can,
and she can
collect
look at her
those.
keys when she's in bed.
Yeah.
And she can,
look at her ornaments and her Disney things and her Disney pictures on the walls. And so I feel like that's all a part of our lives, as well as showing our ups and downs with Isla, as well as showing our, you know, our travel. And yeah, we want to get traveling. We thought we might try YouTube, see if we can get a business going out of YouTube, making some extra money. Jason's still working full time. Well, he's working part time, but because he's at university, so at uni doing a law degree, and you're a bus driver, aren't you? Coach driver.
I've been upgraded.
So you go to London, don't you, every weekend? London and back, which is long hours, isn't it? But if YouTube can help us facilitate a bit more travel, especially for Isla, and in the next few years while Rowan's not at school, because Isla has different entitlement to him. She doesn't really learn at school, does she? She just goes to have interaction.
So Isla is classed as life threatened and life limited because of her epilepsy. Therefore, she has no legal requirement to be at school. She goes to school, but she can't.
And they like her to be there.
Yeah, but she can't, for example, be fined for being on holiday.
She's never going to do a 6+, things like that. Yeah. And, you know.
She's not working towards formal qualifications.
No. Life skills.
Yeah.
But, again, she's so disabled in so many different ways.
But so determined.
Yeah, she is determined, but what I was going to say is she gets more out of us travelling, seeing the world, going swimming every day in a hot country. Like, that's why we love Florida. We're focusing on Florida at the moment. But it's not the only place we're focusing on. No. We've got a load of other stuff this year. We've got Disneyland Paris. We've got Butlins, which, yes, is in the UK, but it's still a really fun holiday. We're going to really enjoy vlogging that. It's going to be amazing. Like, Butlins is so much fun. New York this year.
Yeah.
We really want to take her to places like Tokyo. We want to take her to LA. We want to take her to Hawaii, and we want to take her surfing in Hawaii and swimming with dolphins. And we thought that we would do a bucket list, didn't we? So we could do a bucket list vlog of everything we want to achieve year on year. Instead of just doing a massive bucket list for Isla, we thought, why don't we just sit down and think about things that she'd really enjoy, the experiences, what she's into now, and then pick out 5 things that's manageable for us to do throughout the year.
And I think that sort of moves on to the next one as well, which is we're supportive of whatever the children want to achieve. For a long time, going back to Isla, for a long time we were too nervous and too freaked out to take her travelling.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've just said this to Kate, it is difficult to get Isla from the door of a plane, the whole way down an aisle, carrying her into the seats. But it's worth it because of what she'll experience at the other side of that flight. So her experience in Disney, her experience in Universal, her seeing her enjoying herself makes that slight struggle getting onto a plane and getting her to sit in a plane for that many hours worth it in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, when we next fly, I think it's a good time now. She's a good enough size that we can actually vlog our highs and lows with that, and our difficulties with travelling, and what solutions the airline come up with, because things like changing her, we're not going to be able to change her in the toilets now. No. So I don't know how we're going to manage to do it, and how we're going to manage to keep it private and all those things. So we're going to have to look into all of that. And we've got my mum with us this trip when we go away, so that helps. So basically that's us. That's pretty much
charitable.
Oh, we've got one more. Charitable. Can't miss that one out. I would say before we had Isla, we weren't that charitable. And I feel like, I wouldn't say we weren't charitable. We would definitely give to the Poppy Appeal, and and if people asked for money, we'd we'd sponsor people, and we'd give money. But I just don't think we really thought about the impact of what our actions were. If we gave £2, what that impact potentially would be. And when we had Isla, we started to get there are a few charities that you can use. So like we used a charity when we had our first home with Isla, and we got a brand new fridge freezer. And I mean, that was just mind blowing for us at the time. You know, we didn't have the money to go and buy a fridge freezer, a washing machine. I had a second-hand washing machine, which I was really thankful for. We were really lucky to get it. And the lady said, well, you know, I had it for £30, I think. And she said, well, if you give me another tenner, I'll give you a lawnmower. And we were just so thankful of that, because we had nothing. Like, we had nothing. And we were so thankful for that. And I just think, like, we just didn't really think about when we got that fridge freezer. I think it really just felt like, because we've been on the receiving end of charity rather than just giving, we sort of realised the implications of, if you do just give £2, actually that can be a massive amount of money. And we fundraised, and it was so hard to fundraise for Isla. She had an operation. We fundraised what, £56,000 for the operation, which was 11,000, and the aftercare therapy, and it gave her about 3 years worth of therapy paid for. That was 2.5 years of pure hardship. It was so hard and so stressful and so emotional on us.
And it is very hard when
you're so close to
you're fundraising to something that's so close to you as well.
Yeah.
Because when people just turn, oh, well, don't want to watch them say charity characters, it's sort of
demoralising, for your
it's
child.
So close to you, it's really hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It's hard to separate it out, like the act and the, you know, when some people are like, no, it's okay, and you think, yeah, but she can't walk and she's in pain, and your £1 would make such a difference. And if everyone today had given me £1, I wouldn't need to stand here again. You know, and it's hard. It is hard when it's for yourself. And that sounds ridiculously selfish, but like on the other hand, we had such fun as well when we were fundraising. We did some crazy stuff.
Yeah. I ate. What did I eat?
I feel, well, I think we need to get on the fundraising page and try and find some of the pictures and see if we can actually do like a vlog with talking and pictures, because there's some crazy stuff. You ate like a fermented egg, and he was sick. So yeah, charity is at the core of what we do now. And if we can donate, and if we can be charitable, if we can help somebody in any way, we, you know, we try to, don't we? Like with when Ukraine, I had a load of coats for Isla that I bought in the sale. When she was bigger, we donated all of those. We donated blankets, food, anything that we had that we thought would be useful. Toiletries that we didn't need. We just literally cleared the house out.
I mean, also we've supported Stroopy Doo and the Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, we support, like,
especially since
we tried to support
children through the unit.
We tried to support children that tried to support charities that are children orientated, premature birth, and then disability charities that have helped us. We like to try and, you know, if you buy McCain chips right now, I've said it a few times, it goes to Family Fund. Family Fund really helps families that have got disabled children. It really does help. We can apply for a holiday each year to like Butlins, or we can have items for the home if we're desperate for them. They've provided a bed.
I've donated like £1 or £2 a week to Make-A-Wish for the last.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish is a big one, because we had a Make-A-Wish trip, and that changed our lives completely. That Make-A-Wish trip changed our lives. We wouldn't have gone anywhere. We wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel. No. We wouldn't be vlogging. We wouldn't be planning we wouldn't have took her to Florida. Like, we wouldn't have done anything without that Make-A-Wish trip. When she was 4 and she was given a Make-A-Wish trip, that changed our lives. That changed our lives. And I'd really love to do something with Make-A-Wish, actually, and just do like I don't know, see if we can do a fundraising campaign or something and speak to Make-A-Wish, because that would be absolutely fantastic. Just to say, you know, just go to them and tell them our actual story and say how much they've altered our lives in like in the most amazing, positive way. Because we would have never gone on a plane. No, never. If they hadn't have arranged a host holiday for us. And it seems such a... On one hand, it seems like such a superfluous thing, doesn't it?
Thing is, it's very hard when you're seeing your child seizing and sort of that poorly to then know, actually, we can go on a train, we can go abroad, we can go on a plane.
And then the second day when we did go on a plane, she had a seizure.
Yeah.
Disney, though, are fantastic, aren't they? When we went to America for the first time, we took her to Florida, and the second day, we sort of miscalculated our timings.
Yeah.
And so we
were on a dose of medicine, didn't
so her dose of medicine should have really been like 3 or 4 hours before she actually got it. Which she didn't get it in the end because she ended up having a rescue medication. But we were in the middle of Hollywood Studios, and we were like, "Oh, she's having a seizure!" And then this bloke literally we were just like, "Oh," we were sort of like, "Is there somewhere we can go?" And he was like calling an ambulance. And
we were just escorted into a shop, weren't we?
And then we were sort of told off by the ambulance crew to say, like, "You didn't need to call us if it wasn't an emergency." And we were a bit like, "Well, we didn't actually, didn't actually call you, mate. Disney did." But like Disney have their own crew, they have their own like fire, everything. They have everything. They have their own fire, they have their security, they have their own like ambulances on site. So yeah, it was just, and they treated us amazing, didn't they? They got us
we had phone calls every day for the next 4 or 5 days off the manager of the hotel. They
took us back to the hotel. Jason, in the end, Jason went and spoke to the manager because we were so sick of them ringing us. And leaving messages like, we were like, "We're enjoying our holiday, she's fine. We're having a great time."
But I think that's the difference between having a child having a seizure out of the blue that would wipe your holiday out pretty much. And having a child who has regular seizures who within 24, 48 hours, once they've
But how many places,
meds,
but you wouldn't get, how many places would you have a seizure? You could go to Spain and have a seizure. The hotel manager wouldn't ring you.
No.
You know what I mean? Like Disney was so, I feel like the one good thing about Disney is you're so sort of, you're tagged, aren't you? You're so sort of, they know who you are, they know what room you're in, they've got all your details. We've been to Disneyland Paris before, and you walked in, didn't you, to get something for Isla, and he went in to ask, and the nurse just said, "Oh, I think he went to get a plaster or something." And she said, "Oh, for Isla Hatfield, yes, I've just been reading her file. I've just been reading her, just so that you know, we're all clued up on the fact that she's got epilepsy and cerebral palsy, and that she might have a seizure." And we were a bit like, "What?"
It's very much like Disneyland Paris maintain records. So if you go in for the first time and ask for a disabled pass, you have to produce all your documents and everything else. With Isla now, produce her annual pass and produce her blue badge, and all the details are already on there.
Yeah.
They don't have to ask.
They're on their system,
for her medical notes because they've scanned them in previously.
Which I think is a good thing. It saves us so much time and so much hassle. But we've got all on the off on an old tangent. And they're supposed to write down bullet points, and I'm
bad for this at uni.
He's terrible. I mean, I haven't had any comments yet saying Jason doesn't talk an awful lot. Kate does the talking. Because I'll tell you what, sometimes I have to stop him because I know he's going to be on and on and on. And we'll be here for hours chatting away. And, you know, this vlog was supposed to be a 10-minute vlog. We're now on 24 minutes. And who's going to watch all of that? So if you've got to this point, well done.
You've got editing software. You can just chop bits out.
Yeah, but I won't, because it's like it's your magic.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and if people don't want to watch your magic, they're not going to like and subscribe to our channel. But people might like your magic. They might think he's bonkers.
I am bonkers.
I want to see more of him. And actually, if you do want to see more of him, then you definitely want to subscribe to our channel. We have got some My Fat Wife, Will She Ride coming up, because a lot of the rides at Universal, right, 1, are quite tight, and 2, because I'm not small, okay, and 2, are petrifying to me, and he just wants me to ride the petrifying rides, and I thought, right, mate, sod you then. So we're going to vlog it. We're going to see if he can get his fat wife on these rides, and this is what I'm going to say. If I can fit on it, I'll ride it. Apart from Rip Ride Rocket, there's no way in hell he's getting me on there. No way. I just can't. I look at it and I can't even manage it. I cannot.
That ride's strong.
I can't do it. Okay.
Isla wants to go on that ride.
She can bloody go on that ride. You're murdering my children. No, I can't do it. I just can't. It's just the full scale of looking at that drop and I just can't do that. I just can't.
The drop's not that bad. That ride, the thing that's bad is when you're going up the hill vertically and all you can see is the sky.
It's just the anxiety. It's the hold there. You know,
Yeah,
you know why I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I know.
If it was a straight rumph, but they hold you, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to go. And I can't do that. I just can't do that one. That one's just out for me. Right. Please do like and subscribe.
Thanks for rolling with the Hatfields.
Bye.
Bye.